Hello everyone. In this video, I will be trying to differentiate between dedicated host versus dedicated instance in AWS EC2. So let's move ahead. So before moving forward to the difference, let me explain what EC2 is, which is Elastic Compute Cloud. It is one of the most widely used AWS cloud service in which you basically rent virtual computers on AWS. Basically, you get to choose how much CPU you do you want, like how much CPU, how much RAM you want, what kind of bandwidth network card do you want. So basically, you can design your own system and you can pay for it for an hourly basis. That is like most widely cloud service that can be used, but definitely there are different flavors, different types from which you can choose. So we will be discussing uh, two of those which like complicate things in differentiation. So let's move forward towards dedicated host. So basically, in when you go for dedicated host, you own the entire host. By entire host, I mean the entire physical system, like entire physical computer. You own that. So basically, every time you deploy an instance, for example, a Windows or a Linux, the entire instance when you deploy, you get to deploy it onto your own host that you have rented out entirely. So whenever you stop it and restart it, then it is deployed onto the same host. You do not get to share that physical hardware with anyone else, and nobody else is able to deploy it whenever there is no instance of it. For example, this you have rented this out, but right now you have not deployed any instance on this, so no one can still use it. So it is just it will remain idle for you only. But if I go to the basic EC2 one, in EC2 one, what happens is this is one host and it is going to be shared by multiple AWS users. So for example, you have this for example this has like maybe 64 GB of RAM and I don't know a lot of gigahertz of PC. So what happens is that some part of it will be shared by you and some part of it will be shared by someone else. So this is basic design of EC2. But in dedicated host, what happens is that you rent out the entire physical system and you don't get to share it with anyone else. That is what dedicated host is. So what is dedicated instance? So dedicated instance is somewhat similar, that you get isolation on hardware level. So basically, whenever you plan to deploy an instance, you get one of these particular hosts, but that hardware will not be locked down to you. So basically, if you stop that instance, so this hardware can be used by someone else. But when you restart your instance, so whichever hardware is free, AWS will assign that hardware to you, but that will be isolated to you. So while you are renting that particular hardware, no other AWS account will share that. So I hope the difference was clear between the two mainly. So in dedicated host, the hardware is locked down to you. Every time you stop or start the instance, the exact same hardware will be given to you. But in dedicated instance, you get an isolated hardware, but it is not going to be the exact same one every time you stop and start your instance. So I hope the difference was clear to you and I was able to convey it in very similar terms. So thank you for watching.